So if you leave your iron on, you're gonna be able to put together the story of the farm field. So the story will include where the house site was, where the barn was, where they played, where they picnicked, where they had campfires, where they drank whiskey. Those are the spots you're trying to find, active spots on a home site, and that's where you're gonna find the treasure. Just like today, they drop things where you hung out. Yeah?
It's in the wall.
It's in the hole?
I think it's in the wall.
It's in the wall.
I think it's in here.
Excellent.
In this third episode of Dirt Fishing, Mike Relics brings along his trusty band of fellow detectives.
We take a deep breath.
Watch as they comb a farmer's field in Caister Centre, Ontario, looking for relics left by 7 generations of farming life.
Oh, we got one.
We got one.
We got a coin.
We got one. Uh-oh.
Then stick around as we check in with our favorite coin expert, Sam Hakim,
This is a coin that was struck in the Civil War. There's a lot of politics behind it.
as he shares his knowledge about our crew's latest treasure.
Even in low grade, it's like $300 US.
Last but not least, stay tuned for a reenacted story of how a big find might have reached its final resting place more than 150 years ago. Hold on to your history hats, Hamilton. This is Dirt Fishing.
Hamilton, Ontario, here we are again, dirt fishing. Now, we're gonna let you in on a little secret here because it's fall. So we're into a new season now. We have obviously a few guys out here with us. So the key to the fall is if you could land a permission on a farm field. So this is a little trick of the trade that we know in metal detecting. Once the farms are cleared, due to years of tilling and years of working a farm field, you will end up with old coins, old relics, horseshoes, axe heads, crotal bells. We'll get into what a crotal bell is soon. I'm sure we're gonna find some out here, but this is the way it goes in the fall. Try and find permission. Obviously you need permission. You can't just walk onto a farm field and start digging, but if you can find the right farm field, you will hit the jackpot. So with us today, you will recognize Mr. Gary Knox, the Timeless Digger. Mr. Gary Wright, sorry, I call him Gary Knox, the Timeless Digger. Our permission came from Mr. Jeff Nash, one of the good diggers in Hamilton. He's dug up a lot of Hamilton's history and recovered it and saved it. So thank you very much for the permission, excellent. And then we have the original guy from episode 1, Andrew S. is back. Here we go. Now, we're all gonna go out there. We're gonna try and find some relics. We're just outside of Hamilton on a farm field, so let's get ready and let's shoot this. I'm gonna keep the intro a little quieter today just because we have a lot of people and a lot of treasure to find, so let's get right to the point and find the treasure. Let's do this, boys.
I think it was his. Oh. Not exactly sure. Could be a buckle.
So Jeff, when we're looking for the home site, we're looking to pull up little pieces of ceramics and pottery and looking for bricks and stuff like that, correct?
Yep, that's it. There's pieces all over here. Porcelain and pottery.
Obviously it's going to be broken. We're in a farm field, so it has been tilled at some point, but here, if you look here closely, you're going to see pottery like this. That's old blue. So here's a pink piece, here's the blue piece. So this is what we're looking for in a farm field. It's obviously, it's gonna be broken because it's been tilled, the farm field, but this is what we're looking for to find the home sites. Yeah, so there we go. So we're on the right track. So this is how you find the treasures, you follow the leads. All right, so we think that we're gonna start to get some good signals right around this area, which means we're gonna have to pick through the iron signals, but we have the ability to do that, so stay tuned.
Looks like that's interesting. Got a nail. It might be a round head, a rose head. It's interesting. It's not a flat head, so it might be a rose head, or it might just be a nut that's rusted on.
That'll be her. Ooh. Let me see what we got here. I might bring Jeff over here to take a look at this. So that's what we're looking at. I'm gonna say it's from a lantern. Hey, Jeff.
Yep.
Maybe lantern piece?
Oh, what you gotta see? Oh, I've seen these before.
Yeah.
I think it is, because the gas would come up through there.
Yeah, so I think it's a piece off an old lantern, which is really neat. That's the kind of stuff we're digging for, old relics. Oh, bunch.
So yeah, those flames would come up through there, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty muddy, but it looks like a small buckle there. Could be a shoe buckle or something.
A horse rein or something?
Maybe, yeah. It's pretty tiny though.
Cool.
All right, Hamilton, we have enough machines out here. Something's got to pop out soon. Ah, here we go. So, what we have here, this is really cool. This is called a rain guide. So these are horses back in the day. The reins for the actual horses would go through them when you're plowing the field. So that's a neat find, actually. Probably made out of copper. Just a nice big rain guide. Beautiful piece. Beautiful relic. That's what we're looking for. Very noisy over here, Jeff.
Very muddy.
Okay, so it's starting to get a little quieter here, which is nice. Okay, guys, we're about half an hour in, 45 minutes in. Not a lot's popped out yet, but patience is the name of the game. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Oh, yeah. All right, so now here is, I dug up a rain guide recently that we saw. Here's another rain guide. This one has the attachment piece on it, but this one's made out of iron. So they came in iron, copper, bronze, whatever you paid for to get your horse. So this one's obviously rusted out a bit, but it still has the attachment where the rain would run through it to the front of the horse. So cool little piece. So we're getting into the horse stuff. Now we're looking to get into the good stuff. So that's pretty neat though. Well, that's some thick glass. So this is the reason you wear gloves, Hamilton. In the bottom of your holes where the metal is, a lot of the time there's broken glass. This is old glass, it's thick, but this is why you wear gloves. Just because you're going to encounter sharp metal in the ground and you're going to encounter glass in the ground. So let's see what got buried with that piece of glass. Oh, that might be it right there. This looks like maybe garbage.
Well, what is it? Oh. It's actually a car part. Could be from an early 1900s car or something. Just trash.
That was deep. Most of your machines these days are obviously waterproof, at least the coil. So even if you get into the lesser dollar machines, which obviously I've said before, we'll still find metal. The coil is usually submersible. So sometimes the whole box is. This machine happens to be fully submersible, so I can put this whole thing in water. But a lot of the machines are submersible. So I do recommend checking the lakes and creeks, because there was a lot of treasure dropped in lakes and creeks. So sometimes you have to get a little dirty to find the treasure.
It's not a coin, that's for sure. I don't think so anyhow. There we go, it's a buckle. Or a strap.
Oh. It's not always easy, Hamilton. I do think I have my hands on something metal. And it's gonna be... Yeah, it's aluminum. Can slaw. So can slaw is a chopped up pop can, chopped up beer can that's gone through either a lawnmower or a tiller or something, and then it shoots all the little pieces of can slaw everywhere.
I got this. I'm not sure what it is. It's old. Could be the top of an old light.
Yeah, actually looks interesting. We'll have to clean it up.
It's hard to see because we can't get the mud off it. But it's definitely old.
Definitely mud
Mike, what
barking.
is this, dude? Is that a buckle?
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think it's the hole's too big for a lock plate, but yeah, it'll probably be horse related. Yeah, there you go.
So far, I found a shoe buckle. I found a nice 3-ringer bullet. It's been destroyed though. It hit something absolutely. It looks like part of a lock plate, and a nice old hammer, which I really want to figure out what that is.
Nice.
Come on, boys.
Scrap. A little bit of scrap iron there. This is the house site from the 40s. And I think there's a garage here maybe. That's all stuff I pulled from here. You can pull it out if you want. Big old file. Chisel file, something like that. Let's see what else is in here. That's just a piece of strapping, probably from a tractor. That's another tractor part. I'm thinking. Let's see what's in here. Oh, sometimes these come out in the holes or they're on top. This is a neat one. It's an old bottle. Actually, you can almost read it. That's the label there. You can read it. It's called Majestic. Yeah, it's Majestic, and that's probably what that says right there too. Never noticed that before. I think the other ones are just plain ones.
All right, man, let's show them how it's done right here.
Yeah, there's definitely.
Oh, yeah, there has to be, man. Walk straight right here. The important thing about treasure hunting is not to get discouraged. The minute you get discouraged is the minute it's time to pack it in. Because you just never know. Could be your first hole, could be your last hole. We just got a can lid. Clear them out. We're just looking for that one good signal now.
Yeah, cross over into the
Yeah,
field.
I'm going to. I should be able to pick something out of there. All right, I'm gonna take a good run at this field. See what this baby can do. I'm gonna walk away. It's very noisy right here, so we believe the house site was here and it's been demoed here, which is gonna leave you a lot of background noise from the demolition of the house. Do you know any of the history about the location we're on at all?
So I do know of a map from 1880 or 90 on mine.
Whoa, a map from 1880 is what you want to find.
And the house then was further over towards the old foundation.
Okay, so
Right where we
this way?
came in, the grassy area.
Yep.
But lately we found a site out in this field,
Yep.
which predates that because it's not on the map.
Oh, so this
So that's
this
where we're getting
site,
the old ones.
So this site
Yeah.
where I just found that coin that we believe to be late 1700s to early 1800s was dug
Before.
off the original house
It's
that
the
you think was
original.
older than these houses.
Yes.
What's that? I'm not sure. I haven't seen him.
He's over there still. Grass.
Could be silver.
Green or silver? Yeah, I think one of the barns was back here because I found a lot of stuff in this area.
That's a nice one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Nice, complete. Thinking it's plated.
It could be silver because it's black.
Could be. If you look on the back of it, there'll be markings of it silver. Of course, it's so muddy. Pretty rubbing on the grass.
I don't know what that is. Maybe a potato shredder.
What are you thinking? Like 1800 spoon?
Oh, for sure, 1800s.
Nice.
It's in full.
Complete.
Most times it's mangled. This is in really good condition, surprisingly.
We got one. We got one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Might not be old though.
Is it the size of a penny?
It's American.
American. Oh, God. Now we're talking, Hamilton.
No, it's not Indian.
It's how do you know it's American? Is there an eagle on it?
2 cent.
2 cents? You've got a 2 cent. Look at his hole. Oh my God, it's a 2 cent.
Nice.
Jeff, it's
Crazy.
working.
There you go, finally. It took a while.
They're out here.
Took a while.
American 2 cent.
Wow. I've never had one of those.
But I've never even seen a 2 cent.
American 2 cent. Looks like it is 1864. This is a first for me, to tell you the truth. And I'm not sure any of those other guys have ever found a 2 cent before. So
How do you feel?
I feel good. I feel good.
You feel like you've gone to the next level?
I think so.
So the hole is going to be, you're going to see it's punched right there. So it's filled with dirt right now, but it does go through to the other side, I can see. So someone wore this around their neck.
So you found a 2 cent American copper coin encased her center. Well, this is a very interesting coin. This coin was very short-lived because there was such a hoarding of the pennies that the Congress back then decided to, it's basically emergency money, so they can have something to circulate during the Civil War. And they produced this design of the 2 cent. And this one is dated 1864, which is actually the first year. The Civil War lasted, till 1865. It was a very heavy mintage because there was a shortage of coinage in 1864 because of the hoarding. It was actually the nickel alloy during the Civil War that they were after, and there was nickel as part of the alloy metal. And So they minted about 20 million of these. So it's not a rare coin, but it's a very common date. Now, as you see here, I don't know if you can see this with the camera, but this is the shield, which is the U.S. shield. And you see these cross arrows, which signifies war. And then you have the olive tree branches here with the olives hanging, which signifies peace. And on the reverse side, you have the wreath, which signifies victory. This was actually the first coin to ever have the motto, "In God We Trust." And the reason for that is because it was during the Civil War, and actually a reverend suggested to Congress to put "In God We Trust." And so this was the first coin. Now, the interesting thing about this first year is that it has a variety, what they call a large motto and a small motto. The small motto are quite rare because there's not that many of them around. So the major difference is if you look at the sizing of the characters, the letters, if you notice the letter D, which is probably the easiest, that being the small and that being the large, there is a slight size difference, but you look at the D here, and the inner core of the D, you see the outline, looks like a letter D. Here, it looks oblong. So when you get a red coin like this and it's graded mint state, it's got to be at least 90% original color. And the higher the original color, the higher the grade. So this would be a mint state coin. As you can see the fine details of the shield. This coin would be graded first on the obverse side, which is this side. This side is called the reverse, which is a secondary grade. But the highest point of this coin is actually the letter "We," "In God We Trust." So if there's wear on here, it would affect the grade. It only lasted maybe 10 years. So it's an interesting find. It's a nice find. It's a very historic. Abraham Lincoln was still president. So Congress had to pass the law to issue this coin because, you know, even in Congress, even back then, there's always red tape. Whenever you see the coins punched, usually it's done cosmetically for women, for jewelry. And sometimes what happened is that a good craftsman would scratch off one side of the surface, smooth it right down, and they would beautifully engrave what they call a love token, and they would give it to their loved ones for a lifetime. So if you actually saw a love token and the beautiful engraving on the back, it's quite a piece of art, and they're very, very popular with collectors.
All right, Hamilton, I think that's going to be a wrap on the farm field and the old house sites for today. Now, again, always read your signs. No trespassing, no hunting. I don't think they're talking about relic hunting particularly, but do not trespass. So we have permission to be here. We have permission to cross this gate, and that's where we found the treasure today. Thanks for watching, Hamilton. Mike Relics. So I'm gonna get into what a crotal bell is quickly. Look at that. Yeah, that's her. Beautiful. So that's one of the bigger crotal bells I've actually ever seen. But so a crotal bell is basically like a cowbell for a horse. So people will know this from any Christmas movie you've seen, any of those rom-com Christmas movies. They have the big horses and they have those leather straps coming off them with all the bells on it. You think about them at Christmas in the winter, jingle jangle on the horses. So that's basically it. This one probably it's decorative, but it would have been used to know where your animals are. So just a beauty. Normally they're about a quarter of this size. They're normally about the size of a quarter. So this was for a big animal and it's a beautiful piece of history.